Hi Guns and Buns. So I've made a video to do with relationship with food and binging because it's something I had trouble with a lot before starting Rebelfit. So I've actually made loads of notes because it's taken me a few days to compile my thoughts on it. Okay, so when I was 21, I went. Well, actually, I went to Weight Watchers from the age of 18, I think it was. And when I was 21, I lost 3.5 stone, which changed my life. My best friends came to one of my parties and walked straight past me because they didn't recognise me. So it was life changing. However, once getting to the goal weight, as a lot of you may remember or know, keeping it off is a nightmare because you want to eat like thin people eat, except the weight starts creeping back on. So I discovered a very bad way of maintaining my weight, and that was purging. I developed bulimia and consequently also started binging because it was, I could eat what I wanted and get rid of it. It was fabulous. I lived on my own. It was great. So yeah, I lost the weight, but I was still addicted to sugar. And this is what diet clubs don't stop, is your addiction. So then I gradually started gaining the weight back, being in a relationship, contentment, etc. Then I had my son in 2006 and gained loads in pregnancy because I didn't pay attention to what I was eating. And then I had my daughter in end of 2007, and I weighed 110 kilos. I was very obese. Then 6 weeks after she was born, I joined the local running club. My ex-husband's idea. I was not amused, but I learned how to run. And in 8 months, I learnt to run 10 kilometers. But I hate running. The running, I also joined a gym. I played basketball afterwards as well. Nothing helped me with my weight loss. Then in 2011, 2012, I discovered the Dukan diet, which is essentially low carb. And I lost 20 kilos. Again, absolutely amazing, fantastic. But during the summer, I wanted to relax, have fun, have drinks, snacks, etc. And I gained 15 kilos back. Then, by chance, in October 2012, I discovered Rebelfit. A friend of Liam's is a friend of mine, and I had FOMO, fear of missing out, so I signed up to something I had no idea what I was signing up to, but it sounded good. And I remember one of the questions I asked Liam right at the beginning, I'm going on holiday to Ireland and the hotel has cooked breakfast. Am I going to be able to eat this? Diet mentality, of course. And I remember Liam saying, yes, you're on holiday, it's fine. So back then the missions were only a month long. And I remember that I had a massive guilt when eating certain foods. After the first mission, I felt that I had gained weight. My clothes were tight. I expected miracles, of course. And I thought, this is a load of crap. It doesn't work for me. So I didn't sign up the month afterwards because I thought, no. However, the way of eating, the good way of eating and trying to see food stuck with me. So then I think it was, that was it. I didn't sign up in the November. The December I signed up for, I think it was Winter Warrior. And definitely there was a click there. I had a lot of guilt with food, and I remember addressing that with Liam, and his posts really helped me because that was the thing that was blocking me, the guilt. Then I discovered how to address my sugar addiction. also in the past I have seen a hypnotherapist for my chocolate addiction. It was that bad. But I discovered that if I really kept left of the spectrum eating green and orange, and I just avoided purple, I had less cravings. They disappeared basically. As soon as I ate purple, I would have massive cravings the following day. It was a vicious circle. So I learnt to just try and keep left. It was easier for me to control. I had the odd binge and purge, but in the end I started finding it easier to say no to sweet stuff than deal with, because the binging would then lead to some sort of guilt, which would then lead to the purging, because it's all associated. Binging is overeating a certain amount. Then my taste buds started changing. If I went to have some chocolate, some ice cream, it was too sweet. I was like, oh, I'm not enjoying this. So it was a revelation. Not once in my life did I not enjoy something sweet. But I preferred to say no, because the cravings would come back and haunt me, literally haunt me. I started to eat intuitively more and more. I would be able to say no to sweet things and think, actually, do I really want it? It would look at me before I just eat it because I knew I liked it. It was there. And then I would actually think about it. Do I want it? Do I have the craving? Sometimes I get incredible chocolate cravings, and I may have some because it's something I really want. But I have listened to my body now. I don't eat it just because it's there. I don't count calories. I do use MyFitnessPal. It's just a way of me monitoring what I'm putting in my body. Have an idea of the calorific values of food. But I certainly don't stick to X amount of calories per day. That's too restrictive. Can't be doing with that. But I'm learning, and I basically have a certain rhythm of eating. But if I don't have that rhythm, I don't feel guilty, because it's now and again. It's not going to kill me. I rarely get the dip. I've hardly ever had the dip. Don't know. It's just something I don't really suffer from. If I do get it, I just try and ride through it, because if I give in, I get the cravings, and it's a vicious circle. So for me, it's just being strong and saying no, and then I feel better for it. It's taken years, but I can say no to sweet foods. My biggest hurdle is relaxing too much on holiday, eating what I want, and then basically undoing all my good hard work, because I can gain back the fat like that. It's very disheartening. But I've worked out that on holiday now, I can be very mindful. I'm not strict, but I'm not stupid either. It's finding that balance, because I know if I go mad, I have regrets, and it does take a lot of time to undo the mess. I've just got a very bad fat stockage problem. It's very easy for me to gain fat. I don't comfort eat anymore, because in fact that can lead to a guilt thing. It just doesn't interest me. I will, if I have a craving for something because of emotion, or it's in the evening because I fancy snacking, I will go and make a decaf coffee or have an infusion, and I forget about it. I hate having any guilt, because that's just awful. So I try to just eat intuitively, and normally I can make the decision from there. And doing a workout feels so much better than reaching for food. So you get a real buzz from food. but even a bigger buzz from exercise. So I do like doing a good WOD and feeling great from it. Yeah, if I do get really hungry in the evening, genuine hunger, I can't get rid, I'll have a handful of nuts, some almonds or something, and that will work fine. I won't reach the crisps or chocolate because it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I can still feel guilt because that is not intuitive eating. That's just eating mindlessly. So, and I know that's the wrong thing to do. I'm working towards something, and I have to be careful. Simple as that. I can't eat anything. But I do treat myself, sure, but not just mindlessly. Okay. If I really, really want some chocolate or something, I'll have it. I bought myself some chocolate covered nuts a few weeks ago, and I'd actually forgotten I had them. I'd hid them in the back of the cupboard, and I found them the other day, and I really fancied them, and I had some. And I didn't eat them all. Normally I would have just eaten the whole packet, but I actually listened to I felt myself get full up, and I was like, yeah, okay, I've had enough. I will save those for another time. It's not the fact they're there, they have to be eaten. And I really enjoyed them. So yeah, that's another step. I can actually leave some. And if I eat them all, I feel bloated and disgusting. And yeah, there's that. The guilt comes back if I go mad. It's not a lot, but I know that if I'm reasonable, there's no guilt associated because I'm listening to what my body tells me. Yeah, I had an M&M's, what do you call it? M&M's ice cream the other day that I bought the kids, and it tasted synthetic and disgusting. And I thought, why am I eating this? So I actually took just a bite and left the rest for the kids because I didn't like it. What's the point of eating it if you don't like it? So I'm able to realise that just because it's chocolate doesn't always taste great. I don't do the Tupperware prep, the repetitive same meals. That for me does not work. That actually makes me want to binge, because if I see that restrictive food in my fridge, I want to think of having anything but. So I always have green or orange food in my fridge or freezer and cupboard. Okay, I have many stocks. So I then decide on the day, what do I fancy? I take my lunch to work, sure, but I make it that morning or the night before. I really have to decide what I fancy. I can't do all those Tupperware lines of Tupperware. The others can do it, but it's not for me, because that will make me binge. And I feel really restricted by that. So we're all different, and it is a case of just sometimes being strong, sometimes listening to your body, but it takes time. It took me 4 years, and there's occasionally guilt, not very often, but it can still be there. But just think before deciding what you want to eat. And food is fuel for me now, often the case. It's a bit sad to say. I don't have the same relationship with food. I don't love it as much as I used to, but do you know what? I'd rather be like this because I was out of control before. I eat to live, whereas before I ate to live. There's a difference, and it's taken me a long time to be able to do that. And I hope you guys who are suffering, feeling the challenge, that you can start overcoming this. But it's not going to be overnight. It takes a while. Okay, hope you've not been too bored. Bye.